you invoke the Insurrection Act, sir?
What?
The Insurrection Act, under what conditions or terms would you invoke?
Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. I mean, I want to make sure that people aren't killed. We have to make sure that our cities are safe. And it's turning out, and we started with D.C., it's been so successful. You look at what's happened with Portland over the years, it's a burning hellhole. And then you have a judge that lost her way, that tries to pretend that like there's no problem. Actually, she's not even saying that. There's a huge problem in Portland. I'll tell you what the problem is: crime. Okay, crime. There's a huge problem in Chicago. It's called crime. And we want to put out the crime, and they want to inflame the crime.
And Shalom, is Brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report. IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to all our brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity, those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. Now, last week I was down in the Carolinas. I was visiting my family, my father, and he was speaking on, you know, the times. And I told my father years ago about the Israelites, and, you know, he's a Christian pastor. And, you know, so he kind of gets certain things, and then certain things he don't. But anyway, I haven't, I try not to even mess with him about it. That was a mistake by me, you know, trying to, you know, back when I truly, you know, just thought people would listen. Anyway, you live and you learn. But he's come around to understanding that not only are we the Israelites, but, you know, those people that are claiming to be Israelites are not the real people. So he knows that much. And he, you know, talks about the destruction of America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. But he also, you know, spoke about last week, he spoke about martial law. Now, I remember years ago, even before the truth, you know, because I knew about martial law from the military. You know, he would say, oh, that's some conspiracy theory stuff. But he's talking about martial law. Now, keep in mind, my father is in his 70s. You know, he had me kind of late, you know, in life. But my father's in his 70s, late 70s at that. And he's talking about, you know, Trump probably gonna initiate martial law. He's talking about insurrections and all this stuff. And I'm just like, whoa. And I was halfway tempted to, you know, continue with that conversation. But as, you know, at a certain point, I just, you know, kind of cut it off. Like I didn't want to go into it. So that's how crazy things are right now. You know, my father's a Christian pastor that, you know, slickly knows, I say slick, you know, like on the back end, he knows that we're the Israelites, because I told him years ago. I told him, but you know, he was going into Obadiah and things like that, and he was talking about Trump's going to bring in martial law, and I was like, okay, you know, I just left it at that. You know, whatever, let him have it. He still called on, you know, Jesus and eat pork. So I'll put it to you that way. You know, but I was saying to myself, damn, I remember years, you know, years down the line, years ago, when I would talk about martial law and stormtroopers and like even way before I came into the truth and the knowledge of the truth, because I learned about martial law from the military. That's why I first heard about martial law. Talking about years ago, many years ago. So when I would speak on that, my father would just kind of like, what are you talking about? He would just kind of like, he would listen, but he would kind of just like dismiss it. But now, that's all he really wanted to talk about the whole time I was there. And I really didn't even want to talk about it. When I had little downtime, I was happy to see my family. But when I had a little time to myself, I was studying, I was in the scriptures. But I was saying to myself, I said, damn, shit is really, hitting the fan to the point where even he is wanting to talk about martial law. So anyway, I want to get this. In Matthew 26:41, it says, watch and pray. Okay? Because that's the thing, man. We have to watch and pray. We can't wait for people around us, whether it be your family, your loved ones, your friends, your neighbors, to do the watching and the praying for you. You have to stay on your watch. You have to stay in prayer. And even today, before work, I was sending up prayers, and the day started off smooth. Everything was quiet. Everything was good. And but I was sending up prayers, and sure as shit, towards the end of the workday, here comes Satan. But I was already in the spirit, so I was like, I ended up laughing at it. The little situations that popped up. But watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Because we're all going to be tested and tried. That hour of temptation is coming. And I say this all the time now. It's cute. It's okay. Like, you do the Israelite thing. I'm an Israelite. Kwam Yasharala. But at a certain point, man, it's just going to be you. Watch what happens. Okay? And you actually going to have to believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. You're actually going to have to believe in it and stand on it. Shit gonna get real out here. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's why it's important to overcome this flesh. Store ye up your treasures in heaven. Right? You need a spiritual heavenly mindset for the times that we're in. And just to show you the times that we're in, I got this from X doing my daily spying on Esau. Because Esau spies on us. So good and goddamn well I'm going to spy on Esau. This is from a popular, it's really a popular, what's the word I'm looking for? A popular social media influencer, clandestine. You probably never heard of him, but he's, as far as, because I stay on this, the MAGA side of things to see what they're talking about. This guy, Clandestine, is very popular amongst them. But he wrote this. Trump says that insurrectionists are burning Portland to the ground. Now, it's being rumored that Trump is out of his mind and that his handlers and the lesser, what they would call the lesser luminaries, they are showing him videos, old videos, and they're presenting it to him like it's new. Like 2020, you had the Portland riots, you had Antifa out there, and they were burning, police cars and causing all kinds of chaos and havoc. But because Trump may be, I don't know, he may be suffering from dementia, they are showing him old videos and telling him that this is happening in the present time, the present moment. So this explains this post by Clandestine. It says, Trump says the insurrectionists are burning Portland to the ground. And he says here, this is not an accident. Trump and his administration are beginning to use this word frequently for a reason. The Insurrection Act is coming. And I heard Trump during I believe he was in the White House, and he had the press in there, and they asked him about the Insurrection Act. I believe it's the 1807 Insurrection Act. And he said he'll look into it. It may not be necessary at the moment, but this, it's something he'll look into. Definition of insurrection: a violent uprising against an authority or government. That's the definition. So Trump has labeled American citizens as insurrectionists. And again, the definition of an insurrection: a violent uprising against an authority or government. And it has an example. It says the insurrection was savagely put down. Opposition to the regime led to armed insurrection. That's an example. A violent uprising against an authority or government. Keep in mind, Trump is deploying National Guard, ICE, to where he already did it to D.C., now Chicago, Memphis. And there's a list of other places he wants to send them to. Now, here in the DMV, in Washington, D.C., we've pretty much gotten used to seeing them. I see them all the time. It's nothing. When it first happened in August, it was like, oh shit, what the fuck? A lot of people were just like, oh shit. Now it's just kind of like you've pretty much gotten used to seeing them. And the same will probably happen in Chicago. But let me say this. He's not doing this for nothing. He's putting these troops in place for a reason. Being in the military, being security forces in the Air Force, which was, we did law enforcement, we did security, and we did air-ground based defense. One thing I learned was this. We don't do an exercise for nothing. Anytime we train heavily on something, it was for a reason. Now, I don't care how many times we get this, I'll get it again. I don't give a shit because this is over. You know, this thing is done. We can see where this is going. 2 Ezra 15 and 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And the modern day sword is the gun. You have the missiles. But what you're seeing right now is Trump deploying these troops to put them as a safeguard for a special announcement. That's my honest opinion. There will probably be some sort of major false flag and or a special announcement. And they want these troops in place for that announcement or that false flag. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And this is why these troops are out here. He started with DC first. You need to stop and think about that. He protected his turf first. Think about it. He's the president. He's in the White House. He made sure the troops, the federal agents, the National Guard were there in Washington, D.C. first. See, if you can see what I'm seeing and understand what I'm understanding, that's military shit. You protect your home base first. Then you move out. You understand what I just said? Understand what I just said. Something's coming. This is so important. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And your king of America will be your president. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Trump knows that whatever this announcement is going to make the people rebel against the entire government. He's protecting the home base first. Now he's going to move these troops out. Says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. We're talking martial law, what my father was talking about. Because whatever it is that's, whatever this announcement is, whatever this false flag may be, it's going to be so big that the people won't give a shit about the president, about the governors, about the senators, about any of these politicians. You have to understand military strategy to understand why Trump is doing what he's doing. Why his advisors told him to do what he's doing. Now, I do have somewhat of a theory as to what's going on. I believe the state of Israel, the small hats, blackmailed Trump. And they're releasing these files slowly to make Trump do things he probably would not do, and probably maybe he does not even want to do this. But either way, it works out for us because he's harrying, can't say it right, but he's bringing about Jacob's trouble. Now, I want to play this clip. This is Aaron Pernis. I believe that's his name. Aaron Pernis. He's popular on Twitter. And he's talking about Trump defying the judges and deploying these troops out because this is some military shit now. And I tried to warn people for a long time now that it was going to be some military shit, some military activity, because Esau's blessing the sword. Okay, he was given the fatness of the earth, and his blessing is the sword. And he's going to use it. But anyway, for those that have stuck around long enough to listen to the shit that I'm saying, this is, I believe his name is Aaron Pernis, and he's speaking about the Trump administration and his advisors telling him to defy court orders, defy the judges, and deploy these troops, right? And basically setting the military, the U.S. military up against American citizens. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip right now.
We have some major news right now. Right-wingers within MAGA are demanding that Donald Trump ignore court orders blocking the deployment of the National Guard. From Laura Loomer to folks at the Daily Wire, they're all urging Donald Trump to launch what would be a constitutional crisis. What they're saying is he should completely defy and ignore the court orders by a Trump-appointed judge, Karen Immergut in Oregon, and other judges across the country who block Donald Trump's attempt to deploy the United States military on American citizens on American soil. If Donald Trump were to do that, that would be a constitutional crisis in ways we really have not seen before, where he would try to consolidate the power of the presidency and completely disregard the judicial branch. He hasn't done that regarding this yet. We'll see what happens next, but MAGA is urging him to take this extraordinary step. Follow along for more, and as always, subscribe to my Substack at the link in my bio to support my work. Stay tuned for more to come soon.
So as you heard in that clip, MAGA is telling Trump to disregard court orders and to disregard the judiciary branch, the judicial branch altogether. And they're pretty much telling him to put troops on the streets and use these troops against American citizens. Anybody that's telling you that Jacob's trouble is not coming is a fucking sellout. At this point, they're a fucking sellout. They had to have taken that money from Esau. The elites of Esau had to have paid these people off. And notice in that clip, he mentioned Laura Loomer. And I'm always talking about Laura Loomer. And the reason being, and I understand that brothers may not be so into the politics of things, and they may not understand. Like you brothers might look at it and go, why are you talking about this chick, Laura Loomer, on Twitter? She's not just some chick. You have to remember the Epstein files. Epstein himself was ran by Mossad, and the political blackmailing is ran by Mossad. Okay, the Israeli state, Mossad, their version of the CIA. So you have to understand what's going on. I'm trying to put the pieces together for you. I'm not just reading some random shit. You have a president in office right now who has been involved in pedophilia, some really weird shit, and it's on tape. Okay, it's on video. And he has to carry out what the elites, because remember, the elites, most of them are small hats. I was damn near say all of them. When you talk about the Illuminati and the powers that be and all of that, most of them are small hats. They're the Israelis, the fake Jews, okay? And they run this shit. They run these blackmailing operations. Okay, so if they want to push Agenda 2030 and the depopulation program and the mandatory microchip, the mark of the beast, they're going to put someone in office that is blackmailed by them. So he has no choice but to do what they say and act on it, or they will release all of that information. And that's what you're seeing right now with Trump. So when I tell you, I believe he will be the one to bring about this false flag, the mark of the beast, the microchip, and he will probably initiate World War III. I'm not saying that for nothing. I'm not pulling that out of my ass. Laura Loomer is a Mossad asset. So when she calls for troops, National Guard troops in the streets, Trump has to listen to that and take that order seriously because he's being ordered to do so. Now a nigga might hear what I'm saying and say, well, what did that got to do with us? We as black folk, what did that have to do with us? Because you know that's how a nigger is, right? Niggers are stupid. What does that have to do with us? Well, motherfucker, let me tell you what it's got to do with you. You black nigga, you. Since you want to be stupid, I got another clip for you. And yes, it's a black man explaining to you what the plans of the New World Order, the Illuminati, the powers that be, the elites of Esau, Edom, what they truly are. I'm going to play this clip and then I'll come back and respond to it.
Hey, black people, low key, I think they're going to try to stage some shit. I think Stephen Miller, that little racist prick in the White House, I think they're going to stage like a shooting against the military. Like 3 black guys was shooting at the military. They're going to try to stage some shit. They did it before. They know how to stage shit and make it shit look real. And then they're going to pay all the news people to put it out there. And then the military guys going to be fooled into thinking that black people are shooting at them. It's going to be all scripted and staged. They're going to pay a couple of poor black guys to be the fall men. They thinking they going to get paid, but they probably really get unalive. You know, he did it before. Poor white guy. But that's how it's going to happen because we're not out there marching. We're not out there mad. We're not angry. So there's nobody heads to bust for the military. And he only doing that with the military because he trying to see, you know, this a trial run. See what they obey him. You know what I mean? The mustache man did it when he sent them to Poland. He's just trying to see how far he can go. If they obey me, then we got this motherfucker. You know, that's how he talking. So black people, be aware. If you being offered some bread to do this, don't fucking take it because you ain't going to get your money. You're going to get out alive. But I think he's going to try to stage some shit. We're too quiet. They freaking out. Let's keep this energy and we just going to play it out, man. See how far this man take this. But I think we're going to have to get ready for war. I think we are.
So you heard what the man said. And he mentioned a stage shooting by some black folk. So the military will think that black folks are shooting at them. And you know what that's going to do. Oh, that's going to turn shit up. But he also mentioned a trial run. He said this is just a trial run. And that's something I've been trying to really, really push and get across because you have to understand there's something called, how do they say it? Normalization. There's another word for it that I'm looking for. Same thing with the pandemic. Remember how they normalized you wearing a mask and standing 6 feet apart from each other? So they've normalized troops in your city. Maybe not your particular city, but I'm telling you what I've seen in D.C., and I said it before, I'll say it again. I said it at the beginning. When it first happened, when the troops first came in, people were like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? A month later, no one's even talking about it. I'm talking about in D.C. They're still here. They're still at the train stations. They're still walking around. I see them near my job, walking around. No one's like, what the fuck anymore? Because it's become normal. Remember during the pandemic, they had something called the new normal. Okay. Think about what I'm saying. These troops are already here in D.C. Now they're in Chicago, Memphis. They're going to be in Memphis, and they have a whole layout. I believe that eventually they're going to be across the whole entire country, but what this man was speaking on was the fact that they're going to try to start some shit between black folks and the military. And one of the things he said that really hit home with me, he said black folks are too quiet because unlike the past, black people aren't marching, they aren't protesting like they normally would. Right? And so Esau feels the need to provoke black folk. You've seen these hangings. You had these hangings about, it was a couple of weeks ago, right? These hangings all of a sudden. I don't know if that's real or fake or what. You know, black man got hung. I don't know if it may have been Mississippi. I might be wrong on that. But black people aren't out there marching and protesting. So the elites of Esau, even down to the Trump administration, are like, fuck, these niggers aren't responding. So they have to do something to start this race war. They have to do something, even if they got to fake it. You know, they did this situation over there in Charlotte. I believe it was Charlotte. This black man supposedly stabbed this white woman on the subway, they say. And then there's information coming out about that may have been fake. I don't know. So that situation was to get white people riled up. They want to get you niggers riled up. So one thing that they can do, if they can't do nothing else, is create their own situation. A false flag. That's what a false flag is. In other words, Esau is going to say, well, since you niggers won't get out in these streets and protest and march and riot like we want you to do, so we can justify the troops shooting your fucking asses, fine. What we'll do is we'll create a situation where we have some paid off niggers do some dumb shit and shoot at the military. See, Esau don't want peace. This devil's coming down with great wrath. Now, I didn't know I was gonna get this. You know what? I'm gonna get it anyway. I'm gonna get it like it's the first time I've ever gotten it. I'm gonna act like you never heard it before. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee, and I always say this shit, your enemy Esau, Edom, the white man, he hates you. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And yes, they become very proud, boastful, and they're on their warpath. They've lifted up the head, and they're making their move on you. And you might say, well, nigga, that's the Old Testament shit. Things are different now. No, nigga. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They've taken crafty counsel. People have made a big deal out of that speech that Peter Hegseth had with the generals. But what was he saying in the background? Because trust me, I know. I say this shit all the time. Former military police officer, I'm telling you right now, we would have events and the commanders and the you know, the high-ranking sergeants, NCOs, they would say one thing in the public, but boy, when we were behind closed doors, they were saying something totally different. That's on a low level. Now imagine Pete Hegseth speaking for Trump to these generals. We're talking generals from all over the world. Imagine the conversation that they had behind closed doors. And you niggers still think Jacob's trouble isn't coming. This shows you that the Lord truly chose your delusion. And there's nothing nobody, myself included, can do for you. The Lord just did not choose you. If you can't understand that this devil's about to make a move on you, on our people as a whole, after seeing what they did to the Latin tribes, the Latinos, the Northern Kingdom, and what they're still doing, how they're snatching parents of these children out of their homes and zip tying these children so that they can't, move. If that ain't enough to make your black ass understand that this devil fucking hate you and he's about to go to war with you, then nigga, there ain't shit I can do for you. And you can talk all the shit you want to. I got this nigga that for whatever reason, he always on my comment board talking about some goddamn Osiris. And he's talking about goddamn Egyptology and shit. I want to see what this nigga got to say when Jacob's Trouble really kicks in full gear. We're seeing Jacob's Trouble now in small portions. I want to see what this nigga is. I wish I could be a fly on the wall and see this nigga calling on Osiris, Horus, and what's the ISIS or a Set, as they like to call it. They call Horus Heru. I would love to see him calling on his Egyptian gods. They are looking for any reason to start a war with so-called Black America. And if they gotta fake it, they'll do it. If they gotta pay some niggas to shoot at the military, they'll do it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They want to make black men in America the new face of Al-Qaeda and terrorism. One of these small hats, this Jewish woman, and yeah, I said the word, fuck it. This J-ish woman, she said, and this was like a year or so ago, she said the most dangerous threat in America is young black people. This was in the middle of their war with Hamas. The situation with Palestine. And she said the most dangerous threat in America, the biggest threat in America is young black people, mainly young black men. That's probably what she wanted to say. And niggas still ain't caught on yet. Sorry, Salakia. Let me get back to it. Psalms 83, and I'll start at 3. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Cut them off from being a nation. And that's what Esau really wants to do, is to cut our people off completely. Maybe save a few of us for slavery. Okay? Zechariah 1:14, it says, so the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. And I am sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. And the Lord is going to bring judgment to this place. Esau's attitude is that he's just going to get away with this shit. He's never going to face judgment. There's no repercussions. for what he's done to us and continues to do to us to this day, that fucking devil is about to fuck. He's about to fuck around and find out. I was about to say he's about to find out, but fuck that. He's about to fuck around and find out. Him and his bastard ass bitch that he calls his wife. That dog loving, dog humping slut that he calls a wife. Fuck this white man. And motherfucker Charlie Kirk too. Now do something about it. Fuck you. All you racist ass bastards, all you little racist ass crackers, fuck you. And your fucking family too. And fuck you niggas that are in league with them, man. Fuck you too. My trust is in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. Anybody got a problem with that? Fuck you. Playtime's over. I said this shit before. I'll say it again, man. It's over. This shit is done. It's done. This devil's about to make his move. You have no choice but to believe in the Lord and trust in the Lord. Or otherwise, you're not going to make it. You're going to be destroyed in this goddamn place. Look at this shit, man. Look at where we're at. Wake the fuck up. Our deliverance is coming from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. It's not coming from this goddamn system, man. People keep trying to restore America. No. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Fuck Babylon. Let America burn. We should be rejoicing. We should be happy. We live to see the fall of our enemies. Let me get this in Psalms 91 and 8. And yeah, I went crazy. So what? Sue me. Fuck you. Psalms 91 and 8. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. His elect will get beamed up in those chariots. Look, some of us, hey, real talk. Some of us, hey, might get our goddamn head chopped off. I might be one of them. I might, shit. Much shit as I talk. And I cursed out people in the military. I know I'm on that list. I used to curse them crackers out. Oh my God. They had my ass on that list. And I want to say something. Oh, shit. Anyway, it says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. And we pray, and we pray that we be in that number. We pray we be of the elect, and we escape the wrath of the Lord and the judgment that's to come, and we be not counted among the 2/3. And that's why we believe. But at the same time, we do have to understand that doing this testing and the trial that we about to go through, some of us will get put to death. That's a reality. That's why I'm always talking about Jacob's trouble. And niggas get mad. Why are you always talking about Jacob's trouble? Well, motherfucker, what do you want me to talk about? It's an Israelite party. Everything gonna be all right? Huh? You want me to be David Allen Greer? Dancing down the church aisle on the Martin show? I got a feeling everything gonna be all right. That's what you want, nigga? No. Everything ain't gonna be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. No, it's not. Understand what we're dealing with and what we're looking at, man. Because the time is short. You won't have Israelite debates and, Israelites on the corner cutting Esau very soon. There's about to be a famine of the word. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Go get it now. Believe now. Start praying now. Have faith now. Don't wait until the shit hit the fan. Then you say, well, I'm going to try to have faith. That shit ain't going to work. Make prayer a daily thing, man. God damn, I did it. I knew I was going to do it. I was so good in the beginning. I knew I was going to get pissed off and just go. But anyway, only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Excuse me. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. So, after all my ranting, understand that the Lord gives his angels charge. Right? Amos, the 3rd chapter, shall there be evil in the city? And the Lord did not do it. So when you're praying to the Lord, understand that you're praying to the power that controls both good and evil. You got to think like that. So if there's evil that's being done unto you, it's the Lord's will. So we're praying for mercy, that the Lord don't bring those evils on us. That's the whole point. Mercy. Mercy. Please, Lord, have mercy on me. Oh, wretched man that I am, please have mercy on me. Because we're in a situation we can't serve the Lord the way we want to. We're not in Jerusalem. You keep, the Passover, the Day of Atonement, you keep these high holy days, you fast, you pray, you keep the Shabbat. But at the end of the day, if the Lord don't have mercy on you, he said he'll have mercy on who he chooses to have mercy on. Right? So if the Lord don't have mercy on you, then what does it come to? It comes to naught. So that's the main thing. Make the main thing the main thing. When this storm comes, because I'm always talking about the calm before the storm, Trump said it, and I just, made a little series out of it. Understand what you are believing in, have faith in, is the power of both good and evil. He can decide whether or not you're going to succumb to the evils that's going to fall upon this world. Because it's up to him. It's up to the Most High. It's not up to Esau. Esau can threaten. But if the Lord gives his angels charge over you, there ain't shit Esau can do to you. Esau's technology does not supersede or surpass what the Most High has. The Most High made Esau's technology. You see the trick bag that Esau is in? Everything he has, he got from the Most High. And I'm sorry, Salakia. I keep doing this. Anyway, let me go back. Psalms 91 and 10, it says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore, will I deliver him? I will set him on high, because he have known my name. And we want our name written. We want to have good standards, a good standing with the Lord. So when that time comes and we send up those prayers to the Lord, he'll actually hear our prayer. You don't want to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble thinking about adultery that you've committed. You slept with somebody else's wife. Or your dumbass went and ate a pork chop sandwich the night before the stormtroopers kicked in your door. Right? Or you went and made a false report against a brother that believes, and now you're in Jacob's trouble and you got that in the back of your mind. Or even, and in the front of your mind, Nobody's perfect, but at the same time, you can offend less. Offend less. And of course, I'm speaking to myself just as well as I'm speaking to you. All right? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say shalom, a sincere shalom to all you brothers that truly believe in sincerity